on Tipperary at the Gaelic Grounds on Friday, December the 14th. 6 days later, they'll travel to Austinstack Park to face Kerry. Both of those games in Group 1, Joe, of the Munster Hurling League.
Rich, thanks very much. Football Show.
The Football Show on Off the Ball.
In association with the faster-than-ever Boyle Sports app. Multiples made easy and personalised content on every sport. Download it now. Boyle Sports. Time to play.
I'm prepared to do anything I can to play for my country again.
Do it then. What about your start to the game?
It wasn't bad, was it?
Why should an honest answer be a mistake?
How can a modern day manager not have a mobile phone?
Why should he?
Now, welcome along. So, latest in the live football before we get to Richard Dunne, who'll tell us about Monaco versus Nice, aka Thierry Henry versus Patrick Vieira. We have had that goal at Turf Moor. We mentioned Burnley against Liverpool. Peter Smith describes it for us.
Burnley 1, Liverpool 0. Jack Cork scoring the goal. It was an untidy one for Liverpool to give away as keeper Alisson flapped from a nod down from a corner, with Cork steering the ball in from 4 yards out. Burnley 1, Liverpool 0.
Let's go to Wolves against Chelsea then. Clive Edwards watching this game.
It's Wolves 1, Chelsea 1. The Wolves equaliser scored by Raul Jimenez after some excellent work by a young lad who's making his debut, and a very impressive one it is. Morgan Gibbs White put the through ball to Jimenez. He had some work to do. He hit it powerfully through the legs of the Chelsea keeper. It's Wolves 1, Chelsea 1.
Now let's check in at Goodison, Everton against Newcastle. Shane Pennington's there.
It's still Everton 1, Newcastle 1. So far in the second half, there's not been too many chances to tell you about. Only Newcastle really with the only effort of note in this second half. Christian Atsu picking up the ball on the right-hand side of the area, cutting inside, and his shot was well saved by Jordan Pickford. At the other end, Luca Dina's just fired over from 20 yards himself, but chances really are a premium at the moment. It's Everton 1, Newcastle 1.
Now I'm being told to go back to Peter Smith at Turf Moor. Liverpool had gone behind. What's the latest?
Burnley 1, Liverpool 1. Liverpool's equalising goal scored by James Milner on 62 minutes as he took receipt of the ball just outside the Burnley penalty area and then steered a wonderful bending low right-footed shot into the corner of the net. It's Burnley 1, Liverpool 1.
That's a big goal for Liverpool.
He's a big player for Liverpool, yeah. Milner. He just has been so many games this season where he's been involved in those pivotal moments, and that is a pivotal moment. They're pretty much almost out of the title race if they lost that game tonight. I know it sounds ridiculous, but they probably are. Yeah. They just have to win games like this. And Milner, he's probably maybe a little bit maligned at times. He's like, people don't appreciate it.
Not anymore.
Maybe not.
Yeah, last season I think was the capping off of the Milner debate.
Obviously he has his Twitter, that parody account as well, but he's actually not as boring.
He's very funny himself.
Yeah,
he's good. Yeah. He's good. Been told to go back as well. Wolves and Chelsea. Clive Edwards.
It's Wolves 2, Chelsea 1. 2 goals for Wolves in just 5 minutes. This one scored by Diego Jota. A mistake by Willian. He lost the ball in his own half. It went to Doherty on the right for Wolves. His low cross met at the far post by Diego Jota. The Wolves fans are delirious. It's Wolves 2, Chelsea 1.
Well, I didn't see that coming. 1-0 down Wolves against Chelsea, and now suddenly 2-1 up with 25 minutes to play.
And Doherty involved again. Yeah. We've a proper right back here who we have to somehow accommodate on the Ireland team. There is that debate, where do you play him, how do you accommodate Coleman, who I personally don't think is the player he was, but I think Doherty has to play for Ireland. He has a bit of attacking dynamism that we don't really have.
Yeah, it'd be good to find a system that somehow gets the best out of the two of them. It won't be easy,
and make me trust,
especially with 3 days before his first game with them. We have to go back to Wembley then. This is Spurs against Southampton. Guy Swindles.
Spurs 2, Southampton 0. Goal coming about as a corner wasn't cleared. Lucas Moura blasted it. Several players were appealing for a penalty for a handball that it wasn't, but Moura took no notice of all of that. He just went and blasted the ball again from the rebound. Great finish, right-footed. Spurs 2, Southampton 0.
So there we are. Spurs suddenly have overtaken Chelsea the way the night's gone. So it's Man City, Liverpool, and then Spurs as things stand. Chelsea in 4th, Arsenal in 5th place. Currently 1-1 at Old Trafford.
Manchester United have started the second half quite well again. Okay. They're on the front foot, and it's hard to see this finishing 1-1.
Yeah, absolutely. So 1-1, 52 minutes on the clock, the latest. Now, we mentioned Monaco take on Nice this Friday. Monaco in 17th position, Patrick Vieira's Nice in 7th. It's very much the Henry-Vieira derby, and we decided earlier on to speak to a man who's in the Monaco area and who goes to all the Monaco home matches and is fairly familiar as well with Thierry Henry because of you-know-what. So Richard Dunne joined us earlier on. He was in pretty good form. Here's how we got on.
Yeah, I'm here, yeah.
Great to have you with us. So, Monaco against Nice. You spend a bit of time in that part of the world. You go to plenty of Monaco games. I think in particular that's where you tend to rock up.
Yeah, we go to most of the home games for Monaco, so I've seen quite a bit of them this season, and yeah, it's not been pleasant watching, to be honest, but it's I suppose it's top level football, but they've just been unfortunate with the amount of injuries they've had this year. Yeah, because we've been judging from afar and just presuming Thierry Henry must be doing a fairly poor job, but the injury crisis is really quite something. For instance, a recent game against PSG, they had 16 injuries out of 24 senior players, which seems faintly impossible. I think they currently have 11 players out injured, so it seems Thierry Henry has walked into a pretty tricky situation here. Yeah, it's not the team or the club of 2 years ago when they were flying in the Champions League and had all them superstars. Obviously, they've all gone now, and the replacements, as well as they're not anywhere near the same level. And I think the process was when they sold all them players, they thought, well, we'll just buy more new ones again, younger ones, and sell them. But the same quality isn't there, and it's an unbalanced squad, really. You know, so it's not. It's not a lot of leaders in it, and it's once the injuries happened and the results started going against them, and they didn't seem to have that person who could just drag them and help them turn the corner. And what's Henry trying to do with them, or is it possible to tell yet, given all the injuries? Is there an obvious style of play or an obvious leaning towards attacking football or defensive football, or is it almost crisis management for him with the players he has? I think so. Yeah, I don't think he's ever had his preferred team on the pitch, but they've won, I think, 2 of the last 3, keeping clean sheets in both of them, you know, which is a big thing for them because they were just conceding goals left, right and centre when he first came. So the fact they've had 2 clean sheets in the last 3 will please them as well. And yeah, I'm sure that's, I suppose, for any team to survive, they have to stop conceding goals. It's a starting point for them. And you would imagine that there's 3 worse teams in the league than them, but like you say, if they don't get people back fit, they'll continue to struggle. And I presume there's plenty of talk in the area about why the injury list is so bad. Are there any theories? There isn't really, you know. It's just one of those unfortunate things that's come along. I don't think there's been any changes in terms of training or anything like that. They've got a really class facility up in the mountains where they go for training and everything like that. The pitches are the same, so I don't know. I just think it's been unfortunate for them that they have had so many knocks and niggles and missing. You can have them in a club, but to all your senior players, it's a real blow to them. I don't know how good your French is or otherwise. I don't know how much of Henry you've seen in the media. How's he handling the scrutiny, which I'm sure is big, and having to do repeated post-match interviews where things haven't gone very well? I was reading he probably hasn't been quite as approachable or friendly as Vieira has been able to be. Yeah, he's obviously every game they're losing, so it's not nice for him, but I think they've been questioning what he's actually doing on the sideline, because sometimes he just looks puzzled, like it's been a big transition for him from assistant to actually making the decisions. But I think once now they're starting to win a couple of games, it'll obviously be easier, but he's very supportive of the players in terms of saying that they're playing well and they've been doing good, but then they were getting beat 4-0 by Bruges and 4-0 by PSG, so it's difficult to say that they're actually doing well. And when you say he looks puzzled on the sideline, is that the decisions he's making or just his general demeanour? No, just him. He just looks like he's not. Right. He wasn't sure. He doesn't know what to do next at times, and I'm sure it's like that because when he's watching the games, then someone's getting injured and coming off, and he's like, "Well, what do I do now?" Yeah. Who do I go to? But it's been unfair on him really because of the injury list and all that stuff, and it was a difficult job. With a strong team, that Monaco job, because there's been so many changes in personnel, and it is a difficult job. And he's just you can see now maybe there's signs that he's turning the corner. Is it maybe a bit different, Richard, in Monaco? Like, so you can imagine if
like you got the job of managing like Galatasaray or someone like that, and things aren't going well. Like that's, but like you live in Monaco, and like obviously my minimal understanding of it, it doesn't maybe seem to be the place where you would have these raucous ultras, like, you know, baying for your head early on. Is that maybe easier for him there?
I think so. Yeah, I don't think there's the pressure or the weight of expectation from loads of fans. You know, you can get away with it. The media, there's probably no media intrusion in terms of in the local area. Obviously, the French media will be really interested in it and stuff like that. But I'm sure he could go out and have a coffee or wherever he wanted, and nobody would be stressed about him whether they're winning or losing, because it's, as much as it's a big football club and it's produced some great players in the area, it's not one of the main talking points, to be honest.
And from your perspective, like having played against them, and from what you saw of him maybe as a pundit, what was your thoughts on him becoming a manager? Do you think it will work out for him, or did he strike you as somebody that you think would succeed in that sphere?
I think he will succeed, but I think it's not going to be easy for him, because he's always he's played for great teams at the top end of the table, and it's always been rosy and glory and all this stuff coming towards him, whereas now he has to really fight, and he has to try and tell players how to get out of a relegation battle, which he's never experienced himself. So it is going to be difficult for him. He's going to have to probably sacrifice some of his attacking football at times just to get results, and if he can do that, well, then it'll be a huge learning curve for him in his career.
What about Vieira at Nice then? I'm very intrigued by how this goes, because I think, you know, I suppose as a player on the pitch, he looked like a fella that like could definitely you know, boss the team as well from the coach, from the sideline. But how has that been going?
I think it's been going well. They've been really pleased with him. I think he struggled to score goals this year. The team's not scored many goals, but defensively they've been solid. I think they had a bad start on the opening day of the season, but they've steadily picked up points, and they've won the games they should have won, and they've been competitive in all the matches. So the fans there are quite happy, and they look like a stronger side than Monaco at the moment, to be honest. But again, it's just putting the ball in the back of the net, and that's where they've lacked a little bit this season.
Yeah, they're 7th. They drew 0-0 the other night, which tallies with what you're saying. And Monaco did win the other evening 2-0. Falcao scored 2 penalties, so that might make them feel a bit better about life. I was in Monaco once. I didn't go to a match, but it is a strange place in many ways, and it can feel like you're just one of many tourists who's watching the same bloke drive his Lamborghini around again and again, and you're kind of just watching very, very rich people go about their daily lives, and half the time they seem a little bit bored themselves. It was a weird atmosphere. I never see a full house when I catch Monaco games on the TV.
Even though it's a small stadium.
Yeah, I mean, the stadium, it was very kind of iconic, cool stadium, and people might not realise it's right on the water. You know, it's fantastic.
Is it over a car park?
Place.
Yeah, it's over a car park.
Yeah.
Right. Why?
I don't know why that just came into my head. I do remember that, but yeah, it's I've thought the same, John. Obviously, Richard would know, but it must be a little bit different, like very different.
Yeah, what's the match going experience like in Monaco then?
Yeah, it is different, but I think like they're getting about 8,000, 9,000 at games.
That's small.
Yeah, but it's I don't know, what is it? It's 25% of the population of the place, so it's all relative, I suppose. You know, it's only a small little town, so they don't. If you go back into France on the other side, then everyone supports Nice.
Okay.
Away. So it's the catchment area is not great for them, but it's good. It's difficult watching French football at the best of times because of how slow it is and the build up and all that stuff. So it's not it's not great to watch. But then you see a lot of young players coming through and a lot of interesting players that will generally end up across the water over in England or wherever they go after that.
More from our chat with Richard Dunne earlier on in just a second, but we do want to keep you updated on the football, not least at Turf Moor. Liverpool were 1-0 down. Peter Smith.
21 Liverpool to the Brazilian. Firmino has put Liverpool ahead from short range only minutes after coming off the bench. This after Van Dijk turned square. A free kick pumped into the far post area by Alexander-Arnold. Burnley 1, Liverpool 2.
There we are. Let's check in. Big turnaround for Liverpool. Second week in a row, a substitute has done the business for Jurgen Klopp. We'll check in at Old Trafford. This 61 minutes on the clock in this game. We have Adam Jury there.
Man United 1, Arsenal 1. The Gunners captain Aaron Ramsey had to be subbed up at half-time, leaving the Gunners with one sub left, such as the scale of the injuries their team has taken. Second half hasn't really begun with the same tempo that flashed up in the first. Both teams have been struggling for momentum, with many a pass going astray. Anthony Martial had a great chance for United when he was played through on goal, but he hesitated and stumbled over the ball. It's Man United 1, Arsenal 1 at Old Trafford.
Yeah, half an hour to go there. About 10 minutes to go at Craven Cottage between Fulham and Leicester. Here's Nigel Bidmead.
Fulham 1, Leicester 1. The visitors with the equaliser in the 74th minute, hardly deserved, but a change made by manager Claude Puel brought on Okazaki, and he teed up the cross for James Maddison to score his second goal in 2 games. Fulham 1, Leicester 1.
Meanwhile, Wolves against Chelsea. Clive Edwards is there.
Wolves 2, Chelsea 1. 2 goals in 5 minutes in the second half. The 58th and 63rd minutes, scored by Jimenez and Jota respectively, have given Wolves fans some hope. Their team has not won a league game since October the 6th. They're playing against third place Chelsea, and their confidence is beginning to grow. It's Wolves 2, Chelsea 1.
Yeah, some turnaround in that game if they can hang on, Wolves. Meanwhile, Anthony Martial being substituted, injured. He chased back, seems to have opened out the joint in his leg a little bit. He's walking off and doesn't seem to be too happy to come off, so maybe it's not too serious. But either way, Lukaku on, yeah.
Who, in fairness, soon did end his drought on Saturday. Didn't have a great game, but it's hard to call this one.
Yeah, we'll be talking to Kev Kilban, who's watching at home in a couple of minutes' time. Spurs against Southampton then, so that's at Wembley, 8 o'clock kickoff as well, about 25 minutes to go. Guy Swindle's there.
Spurs 3, Southampton 0, and after Spurs struck twice at the beginning of the second half to extend their lead to 3, well, they've rather taken their foot off the pedal. Southampton have had moments since. Redmond's hit the bar, the second time the Saints have hit the woodwork in this match. Gabbiadini's had half a chance, and Lloris somehow denied Yoshida from a free kick. As it is, at the moment, it's the Southampton fans making all the noise, despite the score being Spurs 3, Southampton 0.
Yeah, there we are. 1-1 still, by the way, between Everton and Newcastle. About 8 minutes to go as Lacazette makes his entrance for Arsenal. So both managers changing their strike force. Iwobi's coming off. 63 minutes on the clock. Now back to Richard Dunne, who was in fine form, as you heard earlier on. So he just touched there at the end of his last answer about the fact that the football in France much slower. And I put it to him, if it was an English crowd, that pretty quickly there'd be war and they'd be up on the backs of the players and trying to urge them on. But clearly the French crowd's far more accepting of it.
Yeah, they seem to be, but it doesn't make for attractive football. That's, I think what they could do, which would probably improve their chances in the league, would be certainly for the coaches like Henry and Thierry, who've managed in England, is to try and play with that little bit more intensity, because the other teams just wouldn't be ready for it. But they just all seem to settle into the same way of playing and just wait for that one little opportunity. And in and around the box, it's quite sharp and quick, but in general, the build-up is quite slow.
Is there still a big reliance on sort of France's colonial history in the sense of going to Africa for a lot of players? Like, I think you just, anytime I watch French football, you see a lot of African players, and it just seems to be a great kind of, I suppose it's almost like the English equivalent of Irish players going over there. But is that still the case where like they're quite reliant on bringing players from promising African players through?
Yeah, I think someone was saying that most of the players all just come from Paris and around that area and the different colonies, I suppose, which have moved to Paris or stuff like that. But the very athletic league for the like players in around 18 to 20, 21. Lots of really strong physical athletes in the team, and that's why even more so you think, well, they should be able to play at that higher tempo, but for whatever reason they don't.
Yeah, interesting.
If you had the choice, would you go to watch Monaco or Rovers Bows?
Depends where Rovers and Bows are playing.
Yeah,
I'll leave that one open to the listeners.
Prefers the caviar as he sits in the nice suites in Monaco. To what extent is PSG's dominance affecting the general enjoyment in France of the league? Is there kind of a bit of a backlash coming against them, or is it a case that PSG are just generally a bit like Man United and people all around the country support them? Yeah, and it's quite like that in France, where they just really plays for all the teams. So like Marseille are playing in Europe or something. A lot of the people just really hope they do well and all that stuff. Whereas in England, you always have your own team and that's it. Yeah.
But they're so far ahead, PSG. I don't know how or where the next, I suppose, they need someone else to come in and buy a team and try and make it competitive, because they're so far ahead. It's crazy. I think we've won 14 out of 15 games. So
yeah,
it doesn't make it competitive.
No, you're playing for second place, really. There's a few people wondering. I mean, I'm not going to. We've asked you about Emery before, and people texting in about the whole sitting down beside you and the handball and all that business. I think we're pretty aware. He didn't say much.
What happened?
Yeah. Somebody wondering what was he like to play against? Like, we know about the speed, but was he always on your shoulder? Would he drop into areas and kind of suck you into midfield, or did he come at, was he more out on the left hand side and coming at you from that position? How did you find playing against Emery?
Yeah, he was all of them. He's done everything.
Right.
He was brilliant. He would play on your shoulder, and he would happily running behind, but then I think when he was at his best, if he could get in behind the fullback and drag you out of that central role, and get a run at you, he was unstoppable at times. He was so good for the period that he was in the Premier League, and he was, I think, certainly one of the best that's ever played in the Premier League.
I was going to say, where would he rank in terms of the strikers you've played against?
Because of what he was and the amount of goals he scored, he will be for me the best striker that I've probably played against. But he also had the benefit of a super team playing behind him, who were intelligent, who could see his runs, who could see
that was
where
the thing
he
as well, wasn't
it? And everything like that.
So I mean, what do you do if you've got, in their real heyday, Ashley Cole on the overlap, Robert Pires knocking somewhere around, and Henry is cut inside and he's running directly at you, and you've got about 16 decisions to make.
Bergkamp is somewhere there as well.
Nuts.
Yeah, they were brilliant. They were a great team to watch, and they were, I suppose, the only invincible side. But that's the thing. It's like they were a lot of French players and foreign players in the team, but they played at such a sharp pace as well. They moved the ball so quickly that it was impossible to defend against.
One last quick one before you go. Actually, we were sitting in here talking earlier on. So Mark Hughes has been dismissed at Southampton and goes off again. And you would have played some of your best football, I'm right in thinking, under Hughes. He's getting the reputation here of being not a great manager, he's going from club to club and not making a real impact. There was a time around early on in his career when he had the Welsh job and then moved into City, and was probably a bit unlucky to be moved on at City, where people really were expecting big things from Mark Hughes. You obviously seem to play very well under him. Are you surprised that he hasn't almost had a bit more success?
Yeah, I am. It's very hard because the jobs he's gone into recently haven't been great jobs, I suppose, and but he had that really good spell at Blackburn after the Wales thing, and then it looks great for him when he went to City. But then I don't know whether when City got the money and they wanted a big name and it wasn't him, whether that maybe took an effect on him and he's not as confident as he previously was. So it's I can understand, but like all managers, you go through different spells, and some clubs suit you, some clubs don't, and he's not been able to really get the lads on side to get them to perform for him.
No, I feel very sorry for him being sacked in light of the performance on Saturday was pretty good. They played well. I genuinely, you have to have a lot of, even for Martin O'Neill, you have to have a lot of sympathy for people who are in that position. It's hard enough losing a job, but in front of the millions of people who are in the Premier League audience, and all the pressure he's been under and his reputational damage, it's very, very hard on a personal level, I would think.
Yeah, it must be humiliating, I suppose.
Yeah, I'd imagine so. I mean, it comes with the territory, and they're well compensated for it.
Well, I was just going to say, before we have a minute's silence for Mark Hughes, he did get paid £6 million on the day he got the sack. I know that's not everything, Johnny, for that. But I think we'd all take the sack. We'd all take the sack and for £6 million.
Monaco.
Yeah. Move to Monaco, hang out with Richard Dunne. That's the dream.
I'd still be thinking of Bows and Rovers.
Listen. One last one. Mick McCarthy, thoughts?
Great. I really enjoyed working with Mick when we was the Ireland manager previously. I think he's when you're a footballer, all you want is an honest manager, someone who'll tell you straight what you're doing and what he expects of you, and you'll get so much respect and people trying to really wanting to play for him. So I think it's a good appointment.
Do you know, it's amazing the amount. So I mean, that answer ties in exactly what so many of your other former international colleagues have said. The honesty, where you stand with him, he'll give you straight up with you, and a good bloke. It just shows how many managers are talking behind your back, out of their two sides of their mouth, who are just terrible managers, because it just seems like being honest with people has already got Mick high enough up in people's list of managers they've enjoyed working for. It doesn't speak well of a lot of the craftiness that must be going on half the time.
Yeah, well, that's it. People are always, looking for the next player, and they can't hide the fact. Whereas I'm sure Mick would be straight up with you and say, look, you're not doing great, so I'm looking for a new centre-half. So
would he? Yeah, okay. And players like that.
I'd imagine so, but that's what he seems to be. Is like, you need to get your finger out and start working a bit harder and stuff like that, and giving you the opportunity to then fix what's wrong, rather than just saying, he's crap, get rid of him. We'll come and have a chat with you, and I think that's what the players would like.
And we'll probably play pretty decent football as well, you think, Richard?
I hope so, yeah. I think we did previously when he was in charge, and obviously the players were probably more Premier League players at the time than we have now. But yeah, he'll have an idea, and the main aim will be to try and qualify. But I'm sure the secondary thing is to try and do it in style with a bit more attacking football.
Yeah, here's hoping. I think we could all do with some of that at this stage. Listen, thanks so much for joining us. You're the best Monaco correspondent we've had on in quite some time. There's a job there for you if you want it. We might check in with you again as things progress for Henry over the season. Cheers, Richard.
Okay, thank you.
Richard Dunne, what a gent. Top man.
I can just imagine now, if any, there are ever any news stories developing that have nothing to do with sport. Well, we're going to go to our Monaco correspondent.
Well, the Monaco Grand Prix edition with Richard Dunne, I'm looking forward to already.
He is, and you've never met someone, but he is an absolute champ.
He is, yeah. No, he's total gent. Yeah. So there's been a goal at Old Trafford. Let's go over to Adam Jury.
Man United 1, Arsenal 2, and it's an own goal from Marcos Rojo. It came about from a quick 1-2 play between Lacazette and Mkhitaryan. Lacazette bore through on goal, but the sliding tackle of Rojo took the ball past De Gea and into his net. It's Man United 1, Arsenal 2.
Yeah, disaster there for Manchester United. Let's go to Goodison, Everton against Newcastle.
It's still Everton 1, Newcastle 1, and chances really at a premium in this second half. Both the real chances have gone to Newcastle. Atsu with a turn and shot from 18 yards out, forcing a good save from Pickford, and then Shaw with a header from a free kick from this left-hand side, again forcing the Everton goalkeeper into a save. Both sides have made substitutions to try and influence this game and try and get a winner, but at the moment one doesn't really look likely. It's Everton 1, Newcastle 1.
Now elsewhere, Liverpool is still 2-1 up on Burnley. Firmino making the big difference for them coming off the bench. 1-1 between Fulham and Leicester. Chelsea, from being 1-0 up, are 2-1 down to Wolves, and Spurs are 3-0 up in Southampton. Being told to go back to Old Trafford. Adam Jury.
Man United 2, Arsenal 2, an instant reply from Jesse Lingard to make it level. It came about from a poor back pass from Kolasinac, who divvied on the ball, robbed Jesse Lingard into the box, and he tapped the ball past Bernd Leno, and it went straight into the back of the net. A frenetic half at this moment in time. It's Man United 2, Arsenal 2.
Jesse Lingard, Johnny.
Yeah.
Just a punt upfield, really.
I was just saying this to you. I don't think teams play enough long ball anymore. I think it's all just the same manual, pretty football to varying degrees of success. Defenders they're not accustomed to having to deal with this anymore. And of all teams, Man United should do it more with Fellaini, who's probably one of the hardest. I think he's next to useless with the ball at his feet, but he's brilliant in the air.
By that logic, Ireland should win the World Cup.
With Obafemi up front?
With anyone. We boot the ball long for 20 years. We've got nothing.
Well, we also were very hard to deal with, in fairness. I mean, that great Robbie Keane goal against Germany was...
Case in point.
Even the
I'll give you that one. I'll give you that one,
Shane Long's goal against Germany was a
I'll give you that one
as well.
So actually, we need to boot the ball up front more. That's the point. Less passing.
Footballing teams, which Ireland aren't at the moment, but footballing teams don't do it enough, in my view. You need to vary it, Pat Finlan makes a good point. He said if everyone plays like Man City, it's a boring game, and I tend to agree.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
There was a beauty to that Wimbledon side that, they were just very, very hard to deal with. And if I were a centre-back, and God knows we've had Kenny Cunningham on the show enough, I would prefer to be dealing with a nippy, pacey striker than, John Fashanu.
Fair enough. So 2-2 at Old Trafford. We'll take a short break. Kev is watching this game, Kilban, and we'll get his thoughts at some stage as well. This one's right in the balance. You suspect there's another goal in this game with 15 minutes to go.
Football on Off the Ball.
In association with the faster than ever Boyle Sports app for exclusive price enhancements on the biggest games around. Download it now. Boyle Sports. Time to play.
This week on News Talk Breakfast and The Hard Shoulder, we're giving you an apple a day. That's an Apple product every morning and every afternoon. All you have to do is listen in to News Talk Breakfast from 7 a.m. and The Hard Shoulder from 4 p.m. for your chance to win an amazing piece of Apple technology. iPads, iPhones, MacBooks, Apple Watches, AirPods, Apple TVs, iMacs. You could win any one of them. An apple a day. This week on News Talk Breakfast and The Hard Shoulder.
This Christmas at Carphone Warehouse, we're putting our customers first with tasty bill pay deals. Like the Samsung S9 for just $99.99 with free Google Home Mini on a €40 a month plan when you switch to Vodafone, Ireland's #1 network. But only with Carphone Warehouse, the home of the networks, where we're stuffed to the roof with brilliant offers and not a turkey among them. Any network, any phone, any plan. Only Carphone Warehouse. T's and C's apply. Offer subject to a 24-month contract.
Football Index is reinventing football betting. You can buy and sell the world's top players. Their value may go up and down, but it's not over with the final whistle like a regular bet. Football Index, reinventing football betting.
Start building your portfolio today at footballindex.co.uk or download the app now. New customers only, minimum deposit and conditions apply. Gamble responsibly.
Ever punched the air and kissed the person next to you?
Merry Christmas, everybody.
During It's a Wonderful Life? Ever jumped up and down and roared at the top of your lungs?
Jingle time, jingle time, jingle.
Singing Christmas carols? Ever been so tense you could hear a pin drop? Ugh. Playing Monopoly? Didn't think so. Be part of the 50,000 who join the roar for Leinster versus Bath. Saturday, December 15th at the Aviva Stadium. Kick-off 5:30pm. Terms and conditions apply.
There's something about Christmas. There's something about it that creeps inside and finds the child in you. I was having a look around the shops to see what Santa might be bringing the boys, and there was this train set. Old style, black engine with maroon stripe, green and black carriages, all set up like. And the sound it made. Soft, yet it cut right through all the space-agey screeches in the place. And I remembered another Christmas morning, waking up, the windows frosted over with cold, you could see your breath. And the thing that woke me was that sound. And I didn't dare hope, sliding out of bed, cold at the floor. And there it was, going round and round on the bedroom rug. I ran down, could barely speak. Mum and Dad were sitting there.
What is
the teapot covered in that knitted cosy and the smell of hot, milky tea and rushes.
You'll never guess what Santa brought.
You'll never guess what Santa brought, I said.
Well, doesn't that beat
Banner, said my mum. A train set, no less. Isn't Santa the smart fella?
Turn the moment gold with Barry's Gold Blend tea.
So last night, when I came home with the train set, Mary couldn't believe it.
Martin, that's not what they wanted.
That's not what they wanted at all, she said. Santa will bring them what they want, I said. This is from me. Put the kettle on, we'll have a cup of tea.
It was the night before Christmas, not a light in the house, when suddenly was heard the click of a mouse. Then all of a sudden, with a great roar, a website appeared. The Fantasy Christmas Light Store. Don't leave it to the night before Christmas. At the click of a mouse, decorate your house. Or if you're not too far, then drive your car to Fantasy Lights, just off the Walkinstown roundabout. The magical home of Christmas.
At Fantasy Lights, you're sure to see a showroom full of fantasy.
Go to the Fantasy Light Store on fantasychristmaslights.ie.
Yeah. Off the ball. This is News Talk.
So the night continues. Johnny and I were putting the ills of the world to bed there during the ad break, and now we're back.
Long discussion on WhatsApp.
Now we're talking football. So another goal between Burnley and Liverpool. Let's go over to Turf Moor and Peter Smith.
Burnley 1, Liverpool 3. Burnley hunting an equaliser. Left spaces at the back. Salah played in Shaqiri, who fired past Hards. Burnley 1, Liverpool 3.
Well, that's quite the comeback for Liverpool. Let's check in at Wembley then. Guy Swindles.
Spurs 3, Southampton 0. If you hear that scoreline, you'd assume that Spurs were dominating proceedings, but that's very much not the case. Yes, they went 3-0 up inside the 55th minute, but after that it has been all Southampton. Hugo Lloris has already pulled off 4 fabulous saves, 1 double save that really did beg a belief. Nathan Redmond has also hit the bar, and various other chances have been spurned by Southampton, who are desperate to show new boss Ralph Hasenhüttl exactly what they're made of. It's It's been a good fight back, but it only happened when they were 3-0 down. Spurs 3, Southampton 0.
Okay, 7 minutes to go in that game at Wembley. About the same to go, in fact 8-9 minutes to go at Old Trafford. Let's get the very latest.
Man United 2, Arsenal 2, a crazy couple of minutes saw Marcos Rojo attempt to tackle Lacazette in the box, but instead guide the ball past De Gea to give the Gunners the lead. But that lead only lasted barely a minute when a sloppy bit of defending from Arsenal allowed Jesse Lingard to sneak into the box and strike past Leno. From there, Aubameyang has gone close to giving Arsenal the lead, but for De Gea's heroics in goal, we're all set up for a grandstand finish here at Old Trafford. It's Man United 2, Arsenal 2.
Yeah, into the 82nd minute now at Old Trafford. We'll get some full times for you. They're coming in, so it's gone full time at Craven Cottage. Fulham had led in this game. Would have been a big 3 points for them. Nigel Bidmead with the full time report.
Fulham 1, Leicester 1. A momentary lapse in concentration cost Fulham their second consecutive home win and their first clean sheet of the season. Fulham had led through Abubakar Kamara's first Premier League goal on 43. Leicester did very little in the second half, but on 74, substitutes Demari Gray and Shinji Okazaki combined to set up James Maddison, who applied a clinical finish to make it 2 goals in 2 games. Both sides had opportunities for a late winner, but it finished Fulham 1, Leicester 1.
Now it's gone full time between Wolves and Chelsea. Let's hear from Clive Edwards.
Full time, it's Wolves 2, Chelsea 1. The Wolves coaching staff and management and players are hugging each other in delight after a dramatic turnaround. Chelsea were ahead at the break 1-0, then 2 goals in 5 minutes in the second half. Turned the tables, Chelsea lost their confidence. It's Wolves' first win since October the 6th. It finished Wolves 2, Chelsea 1.
Unbelievable. Chelsea beaten 1-0 up away to Wolves, beaten 2-1. Extraordinary. That's the result of the evening. It's gone full time at Turf Moor between Burnley and Liverpool. Peter Smith, watch this game.
Burnley 1, Liverpool 3, all the action compressed into the second half. Burnley forged ahead when keeper Alisson fumbled during a corner routine, allowing Jack Cork a simple tap-in. Liverpool were behind for long though as James Milner levelled with a perfect strike from 20 yards. Jurgen Klopp summoned Salah and Firmino from the bench, with the Brazilian netting 5 minutes after his introduction. Before in stoppage time, Shaqiri made certain the points. Burnley 1, Liverpool 3.
And finally, Shane Pennington watched Everton against Newcastle full time as well.
It's finished Everton 1, Newcastle 1. The visitors took the lead on 19 minutes when Jacob Murphy's cross was tapped down by Salomon Rondon from 6 yards out. But Everton equalised before half-time when Sigurdsson's corner was flicked on by Yerry Mina for Richarlison to tap home at the back post. Both sides had chances to win it. Tosin's volley was brilliantly saved by Dubravka, while at the other end Pickford denied Christine Atsu twice. It finished Everton 1, Newcastle 1.
Yeah, there we are. They are your full time. Still 2-2 at Old Trafford, 85 minutes on the clock, and still Spurs 3-0 up on Southampton. Without further ado, Kevin Kilban, you're there. Hello.
Hi Joe, all good?
Oh, the Mayo jersey's on. Is that what you do in a big midweek Premier League night, yeah? Put on the Mayo jersey?
That's all I do. I just have a different one for every night, Joe, exactly.
Your hair isn't the May West, Kev. You look like you basically look like you need a haircut.
I do. I've been in the park, Johnny. Been out getting some fresh air today, you know.
With Maguire.
Taking the dog for a walk, yeah.
The dog called Maguire.
What does that tell you?
Yeah. So I presume, like us, you're watching the game at Old Trafford. Give us your thoughts. 85 minutes gone. It's 2-2.
Do you know what? It's been obviously been mistakes that has been that have cost both sides in this game. That's the way that it's been. I thought Arsenal's midfield too. I heard you on with Gary Breen on Monday night talking about Torreira and how good he is. But alongside Guendouzi tonight, the two of them have been brilliant. Actually, he's got a bit of bite about him. Torreira loves putting his foot in, as does Guendouzi.
Torreira left one on Madic's ankle there at one point.
Yeah, did you see the one he left on Herrera as well?
No.
It was after a foul. A foul had gone in, and then he jumps in after the foul to win it. And even look at United's first goal, Anthony Martial, who's back on the line. It's Torreira getting back on the line, trying to head it off the line. It's he seems to be everywhere, but his passing is crisp and solid. And I think alongside Guendouzi, they've got a real little partnership going there, particularly the system that they're playing. Yeah. Three at the back, those two holding. I think from United's point of view, Joe,
we can hear Maguire.
Yeah, there he is. He's out and about. Yeah, I think from United's point of view, though, is the selection like Darmian at wing back. I mean, he's got absolutely no quality in getting forward. You're expecting your wing backs now to get forward, go and provide crosses, and it's been lacking for United tonight. Pogba, of course, on the bench with Lukaku. That's what you're looking at again. There's a massive fallout. So, it just seems like it's going one way from Mourinho. I can't see him getting out of this now. So the United board, it seems to me like they're delaying the inevitable.
You could see a late goal as well yet. Like Arsenal will press for a winner here. I'm like you, Kev. I've been very impressed with Guendouzi. Actually, I think he's had a great game. Yeah,
Guendouzi's been very good. You know what? Yeah, last night I was at Watford, Man City last night, and City, honestly, City now, the way that they're playing, the style that they're playing, Watford offered nothing really, apart from maybe the last 7 or 8 minutes and a chance they had in the first half. They offered very little throughout the game. And seeing City opening up sides the way that they're doing it, last night was an absolute cruise for them. No other side can do that, and that's the level that they're at. And I just can't see anyone else competing with them. And you see Liverpool, it's a credit to Liverpool that they're actually only 2 points behind.
I have to interject. What Fellaini has done there is absolutely shameful. We were just talking about Guendouzi. He literally pulled him back visibly and quite purposefully by his hair. He pulled his hair back, like tried to claw it, and it's so brazen. And bear in mind, this is 2 weeks after Fellaini did a horror tackle against Palace that could have broken whoever it was his leg. That is an absolutely disgraceful thing to do there. He pulled him back by the hair. Like, it's like, what? Just because Fellaini pulled, just because you've lost your own hair by your own choice doesn't give you the right to do what he did there. It was like as if I've lost my hair, I want to feel hair again. It's what an idiot, what an absolute idiot. Anyway, you got to watch it. Honestly, it's just so stupid. Like if a kid did that in your under-14 team, you'd be like, right, take him off.
It wouldn't even occur to you.
The TV's on the angle. I can't see it on the angle from here where I am.
Are you on the old Sky Plus?
I am indeed, yeah.
Get the remote off Maguire and put it back 2 minutes.
I'm not sure if the dodgy box allows that, but we'll have to see.
Whoa, you can't say that, Joe.
It's a joke. It's a joke. Would it ever have occurred to you to pull a player? Would it ever occur to you to pull a player back by the hair in 20 years of being a professional? It's a bizarre thing to do.
I mean, I've had some come up against some lads that have done some probably horrendous things on me in general, particularly say when you're a younger lad. But I don't know, I never had that streak in me. I generally didn't. I'd generally be able to compete physically. I know I would have liked the physical side of it, but going in certainly with a bit of edge, but certainly you would like to think in your own head quite fair. So you're watching some of that and you're seeing that sort of carry on now, and you're seeing lads going in to do each other. That tackle by Vertonghen at the weekend as well, that was one where the amount of times you would have had that done on you as a player, where you're kind of in full flight, the defender comes across, waits a little second, wins the ball, and then just goes and lays some on you. That one from Vertonghen was an absolute joke at the weekend.
Fair point.
Fellaini's given 3 frees away and he's been on about 10 minutes. He's given 3 frees away, and the latest one was for a foul, one was for pulling hair, and the third was for offside.
To our eye, Kev, it looked, certainly in the first half, we watched that especially closely, it looked like Manchester United were certainly trying to press the man on the ball a little bit within reason in their own half. Certainly there was a bit more about them with Pogba sitting on the bench. Do you think Mourinho will feel a certain sense of vindication with this performance tonight?
A little bit of pace defensively as well, certainly with the 2 that he had. I think in general, certainly Rojo brought a little bit of bite to the side. Watching United, you've probably seen them yourself recently. I think it's been pretty much what Johnny's saying there. Stuff after the ball. Rojo tonight was kind of arriving, winning his tackles, brought a bit of physicality. Eric Bailly as well, I think he's actually played quite well tonight as well up against Aubameyang. He's been able to live with the pace that Aubameyang has brought. So I think those 2 have done okay. I think in the middle of the park, I think the energy that Herrera has brought as well, it's been an energy. I wouldn't necessarily say there's been real quality though, Joe, but as you say, without the ball, they've looked like they've had a bit more bite about them. That's the thing. Rashford at times he's given away, but there's been good bits of centre forward play from him. I just think United are lacking serious quality, and that's what I'm talking about today with Darmian coming in. You've got Darmian coming in. You're looking for him to provide crosses and provide a bit of quality going forward, and it's not going to happen. Simply isn't going to happen from him.
United just got off lightly here. So Mkhitaryan put a cross in, which was brilliantly saved by De Gea, and then it broke to Mkhitaryan, who scored. It's the most unbelievable finish from an angle.
Some finish. The goal. The linesman should have been like, no, leave it, let it run.
It was almost so good the linesman should have given it, but it was clearly offside. So Arsenal are putting on the pressure with the final 2-3 minutes to go. As we let you go, Kev, how will Arsenal feel with the 2-2?
I think probably slightly disappointed, given how they've played, given how they've moved the ball. Again, I said defensively, if you saw the first goal as well, I thought Leno was really poor for the first goal, as much the same as De Gea was really poor for Arsenal's goal.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought it was poor goalkeeping, Joe. He wasn't even in the corner of the net, and he's parrying it down to the side. It gives United a chance to circulate the ball back into the penalty area. So, you know,
as for the second goal, it was just a lump up the field, and Arsenal managed with their own players to basically set it up in the 6-yard box for Lingard. It was mad.
It is. It's dreadful. It is dreadful, and that is why I'm still listening to Gary talking about the game at the weekend, and he's saying there's something about them. I'm still not so sure about Arsenal. I'm really not. Given they're on this great run of form, unbeaten in, what is it now? Is it 18, 19?
Yeah.
18. It's a great run, but the amount of chances they give up. And I mean, I couldn't believe that stat you said at the weekend. They'd be 19th in the league if they finish games at half time. That's unbelievable.
It's extraordinary.
So, I mean, it's great that he's sorting things out, he's sorting problems out, but defensively, Joe, they're woeful.
Yeah, no, it was a terrible... The second goal was actually a catastrophe. It's really shocking. So 2-2 is how things are going to finish up, give or take, over the next 90 seconds. Kev, thanks a million for taking the time. Much appreciated.
Well done, lads. Have a good night.
All right, Kevin Kilban there. Short break. Back in a sec.
Off the Ball on News Talk.
Picture this. It's almost Christmas and a girl in a red coat is hurrying through Kildare village with her oh-so-patient dad. From brightly decorated store to store. Oh, where is it? Where is it? The perfect gift for Mum. And there it is. A bright parcel under her arm and the biggest smile on her face. The girl, it's me. It's Christmas. Discover the perfect gift at Kildare Village, where there's something extraordinary every day.
Some brands offer you low finance, or cashback, or servicing.
Renault don't do ors. We do ands. The Renault Kadjar with 1.91% APR and €1,000 cashback and 3 years servicing, saving you thousands. Renault, the brand with the ands. Visit your local Renault dealer. Finance is made under a hire purchase agreement. Terms and conditions apply. Deposit required subject to lending criteria. See Renault.ie.
If you are in need of urgent medical care for conditions such as chest pain, respiratory, bowel or stomach problems, then you need the Medical Assessment Unit at the Bon Secours Hospital Dublin. It's so simple and worry-free. Ask your GP to refer you for same-day expert consultant opinion, where you will be assessed and either admitted for further investigation and treatment or discharged with a treatment plan. To find out more about the Medical Assessment Unit, visit bonsecours.ie/Dublin. Bon Secours. Advanced medicine. Exceptional care.
It's not you, it's me. Actually, it is you. When we first met, you were all I wanted, but now you're just too limiting. I want to express myself, do things I've never done, be creative. I just need more from a phone.
Looking for the new love of your life? The Samsung Note 9 comes with the new Bluetooth-enabled S Pen, allowing you to scribble notes and take pictures remotely. And until December 24th, we're offering up to €165 cashback on a range of Samsung tech, including tablets, phones and wearables. Available from select retailers. Terms and conditions apply.
Ah, Christmas. A time for giving. Giving out, mostly, about the queues in car parks. But also a time for taking. Taking your time and getting all your Christmas gifts online at appliancesdelivered.ie. You'll be amazed at the presents you can buy. Hairstylers, coffee machines, fitness trackers, smoothie makers. And we deliver right up to Christmas. So even if you've forgotten great Auntie Nora again, there's still time. This year, have Christmas delivered by appliancesdelivered.ie.
Imagine if all your Christmas was handcrafted by Avoca. Imagine every deliciously home-baked mince pie with its own hand-cut star. And every yummy hand-glazed ham and famous hand-packed hamper. Every fabulous hand-decorated cake and hand-picked gift without you having to lift a finger. So whatever your festive dream, our butchers and bakers, our foodies and fashionistas make it easy with the finest of fare to surprise and delight. Here's to a happy Christmas. Handmade by Avoca.
Give the gift of luxury this Christmas with a voucher for the Brehon Killarney. Overlooking the National Park and home to the renowned Angsana Spa, the Brehon is an award-winning hotel located in one of the most beautiful places on earth. Exceptional service in exceptional surroundings. Purchase your Christmas gift voucher today at thebrehon.com.
Off the Ball. This is News Talk.
Now, welcome back. So, still no change between Manchester United and Arsenal. It's 2-2 there into the 96th minute. There were only meant to be 4 minutes of added time, but it's been a bit stop-start since we went into added time, so it's at the referee's discretion now. We can, though, check in at Wembley. Guy Swindle's there, where it's gone full-time.
Spurs 3, Southampton 1. Strange game. Spurs never really hit their straps, but an early goal in the first half from Kane and 2 at the beginning of the second half. Moor and I'm going to start this again. Many apologies. And it goes in 3-2-1. Spurs 3, Southampton 1. Strange game, this one. Spurs never really hit their straps. They went 1 up at the beginning of the first half through Harry Kane, and then grabbed 2 quick goals at the beginning of the second through Lucas Moura and through Son. But in between times, Southampton actually put a pretty good fist of this one. They hit the bar or post 3 times. Hugo Lloris made 4 fabulous saves, and Charlie Austin got a deserved consolation in time added on. Spurs 3, Southampton 1.
There we go, Guy, good man. So Spurs win, and it's finished a draw between Man United and Arsenal. We're pretty much done, actually, Johnny. I thought we were going to have time to get your thoughts in the evening, but they'll have to hold.
There've been too many of them as it is, but I think Arsenal will feel a little bit aggrieved they didn't win that game, and Pogba, their picture trudging off a pitch that he didn't have any role.
He's not engaging much with the crowd, is he? Just time to tell you, our mystery voice was Lawrence Delalio. Congratulations to Dan Hennessy in Cork. You've won a pair of VIP tickets to the show in Musgrave Park this Friday. That is the next Off the Ball Road show in association with Heineken Rugby Club. Tomorrow morning, OTBAM on all our social channels, 7:45am start. And then Nathan back here tomorrow with John Giles, and Kev will be in the football show as well. Richie is up next for Tom Dunne. Good luck.